Well, hi, and welcome to my shop here. It's August 6th, and I'm about to start work on this Electrohome, probably early 1970s stereo. And it's not so much the stereo that's been brought to me. It's really the record player that goes with this. But I think the first step, because the owner talked a little bit about some intermittent problems, is to get this guy going and check him out thoroughly. And I think that's really probably what's going to happen today. The owner's brought both speakers here. One's here, one's just over there. These are, I was really surprised, these are identical to the speakers that I personally have on my personal record player stereo. In fact, these are actually one size smaller. But I have two Electrohome branded speakers, and they are fantastic. And the thing, if you're not Canadian, Electrohome may not mean anything to you. It says Electrohome there. I'm not sure how widespread this brand really was. Certainly here in Canada, it's extremely well known, and lots and lots of equipment it came out under this brand, Electrohome. I think it was sold by one of the big retail stores. So this is the kind of thing that your parents went to buy without knowing too much about stereos, and the salesman sold them this, and this is what this is. This is the CS400P, a pretty impressive name. It has an 8-track player, but we're not going to worry about the 8-track player. Let's take a closer look at the controls here. My camera just a little closer. What do we got going? I'm going to prop this guy. Let's prop him up here. There. Starting over here, program select. So pushing this button causes the head, the tape pickup head, to move in position. Fast forward. Never a rewind on an 8-track. You can't rewind an 8-track. It's always forward, never ending. Kind of odd, eh? How do you do that anyway? Power switch. Phones. Speaker switch, okay. Switch on the headphones. Main, remote. Main plus remote. 4-channel synthesizer. That's pretty interesting. 4-channel synthesizer. Bass, treble, balance, volume. For some reason, it's got animal paw stickers on these two controls. A loudness button, filter button, mono stereo select button. Stereo is out. FM mute. So that means when you tune between stations, it mutes out the hiss. And external tape play. External tape play. Okay. And a selector switch, AM, FM, FM auto. Auto? Phonograph, I guess is what PH is. Phonograph. 8-track. FM auto. So I think what they really mean here is automatic frequency control. It's just a bit of the FM receiver's ability to kind of lock in on the signal that you've tuned. Okay, nothing too surprising there. It's got a meter here. Can't see much else until the lights are on. Okay, let's take a look at the back. The back. This is a big thing. So first we've got a FM antenna here. Just a regular FM antenna. Let's stick it over here. You have the AM antenna on a swing out arm. I've got my own stereo has a swing out arm like this. Exactly why you swing it out. I guess it's to get the coils away from the back here of the stereo. Because you can't aim it. You can't rotate it or aim it or anything. It's just... Here's the two wires that come with it. Two phono cords plugged into the magnetic input. So this has a magnetic input and a ceramic input. Now that's cool. A lot of these are going to be designed for one or the other, either a ceramic cartridge or a magnetic cartridge, but not both. So this is a little bit of an unusual arrangement. It's plugged into the magnetic cartridge, so I guess in the record player there must be a magnetic cartridge. It's actually a little bit surprising for that record player. We have the tape, two channels, play, record, okay. A bank of speaker connections, and that's good because I have to make some. So these are the speaker wires for those nice speakers. So someone put red tape on to mark 1. Actually, this matches the red terminal on the back of the speaker. So we'll make sure we put these in properly, because you need to pay attention to polarity with speakers. It says left and right on it. Let me do it correctly. So this is the right hand one here. These kind of connectors where you're working with bare wires, you want to make sure you don't have a lot of wires sticking out after you shove them in the connector, because you can't keep an eye on them, and while you're tugging the speakers around and doing other stuff, you can develop a short right here, and that's really not good. You really don't want that to happen. This is a transistorized unit, and I don't think it's very tolerant of a short on the output. Not for very long, anyway. It would depend upon how high you turn the volume. Was you short out your speaker, and you go, oh, I can't hear my speaker. You stick your ear by it and turn the volume up to see if you can hear it. And you turn the volume up, you risk. If you have a short here, you risk it. So now this is an interesting control switch over here. Active tape playback noise suppressor. A noise suppressor. It's switched on. It's just for tape. Fuse, ground terminal. 2 power plugs. One is switched for the front switch. And some fuses, speaker fuses. That's a little bit unusual too. Speaker fuses hidden back here. Now, does it give any statistics here? 4 ohms or more, 8 ohms or more. So what they're warning here is if you flip on 4 speakers from the front panel, they better all be 8 ohm speakers. But if you just use 2, you can use 2 4 ohm speakers. And I'm using, well, I don't know what these are. I'm sure they're 8 ohms. I'd be stunned if those big things aren't 8 ohm speakers. I think we're ready to turn it on. I do think so. So I'm going to rotate it around here. Big monster. Okay. Put this on AM to start. We'll make sure the volume is turned down. Okay, are we ready? The switch is off here. Is it off? Is it off? Where's the turn off switch? Right here. Power is off. Okay. Switch on, nothing happens. That's a good start. Now we'll turn on the power. Very nicely lit. Lovely. It's got that nice bluish color to it. Okay. Nothing funny happening. No hum showed up in the speakers. Let's turn it up. Okay. That's what we're getting right now. What about left and right? So the pitch of the 2 speakers sounds quite different here, and it could just be the way I have them positioned in my shop. I've just got them sitting there. You see one is blocked a little bit. But I'm standing in a position where I can hear the stereo effect very, very distinctly. So that they just don't sound the same at all. This side sounds like a treble is missing, and this side sounds like a bass is missing. That's just based on this noise we're picking up. Let's tune around. I got this set to 4-channel synthesizer. Ooh, 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 ooh. Switch is a little dirty. We're on main now. Extremely bassy. This is bass is set. Both these are set kind of in the center. Everything's set in the center. We should get some stations down around here. Wow. Yep, those speakers are dynamite for bass. Wow. Yeah. You know, the big deal in buying a stereo is getting good speakers. That's the primary thing. You need a good set of speakers. A good receiver amplifier, you don't hear it. You can switch it with another good one and another good one and another good one, and you would never know the difference. Switch the speakers, you'll know the difference. We hear the speakers. Yeah, this really goes low. Okay, come on, stations. Now, could be the antenna's just not aimed right. We're around 640 here. Okay, let's take the pound out of that. Let's rotate. Oh, I got the loudness switch in. Let's take it out. Take this out. Yeah, sounds completely different now. This sound we're hearing right now, the rushing sound, the white noise or whatever you want to call it, when I was buying my stereo way back in 1976, the stereo salesman told me that when you want to compare the speakers in that, you should tune in, he suggested between FM stations, and we get the same kind of sound with the AM radio here, and get a hiss on, and then compare speaker to speaker. You'll have a much better idea of what's going on. It's a very interesting way of putting it, so let's try it. Distinctly different, right? So there's something going on. And it's not picking anybody up. Oh, I'll take that back. So I think this is 590. It's 590 on the dial. Let's rotate now. And I'm going to fold that antenna back away from the... Oh! Okay. How do you like that? Now I know. You need to fold those antennas away, I guess. Yes, the Toronto Maple Leafs. everybody, cross your fingers. Toronto Maple Leafs. They're going to win this year. Yeah. Okay, so you know it's working, but the reception's terrible with it, really terrible. Even the strongest station, which I believe we were listening to, 590, is coming through with noise and crap. So that's a little disappointing, actually. Let's check out the FM. Now, most people, I think, are listening to FM anyway, so let's go check it out. We'll put it just on the FM setting. Oh, I think maybe we need an antenna on this. An FM antenna. Well, what am I saying? It does have an FM antenna. It has an actual, real dipole antenna. Let me get this straightened out here. And I need to hang it up. It's really just a terrible place to be listening to radio in a radio shop. It's just terrible. I can't hang this. Just stick it over here. Kind of a temporary thing. There we are. Auto may flip it into stereo. Yeah. Oh, the sound just changed dramatically from turning this. Okay, now get off the music. Let's get on some talk here.
Again, you go to cbc.ca/listen. Right now you're listening to Tempo. We've got more classical music coming your way. Next.
No, I don't want to go.
CBC Summer.
There's where I want to
This
go.
morning at 11:30.
This is a mono signal.
And on the CBC
This is actual FM, not broadcast in stereo.
CBC News is next, followed by Q.
Blair Underwood stars in a Netflix show called Self-Made, which tells the story of Madam C.J. Walker,
Hey, what happened?
hair care empire for black women.
One
You'll
channel
hear
missing.
what it was like for Blair to step into the role of jealous husband.
What happened to one channel? Oh, there it comes.
From CBC Toronto, it's 10 o'clock. Good morning, I'm Nicole Martin. Mainly sunny, 19 degrees right
So
now.
listen to this
High
channel.
25 today. Well, CBC has learned Toronto's interim police chief is expected to address the DeFonte Miller case this morning during his first news conference on the job. James
Both
Raymer
set to
stepped
zero.
into the role following Chief Mark Saunders' retirement at the end of July. Now, Raymer's
Other
been
one?
with the force since 1980 and oversaw the expansion of various initiatives to respond to people in crisis. Miller was the young black man severely beaten by an off-duty officer in Whitby in 2016. The news conference is scheduled to begin at 10:30. You can watch it live on cbc.ca/join.
I think this speaker's working properly. The other,
Two police investigations. CBC News has learned no charges will be laid in connection to the death of Suleiman.
is missing all the highs.
The 30-year-old was found dead in his cell at a Lindsay, Ontario jail after an altercation with several guards. Fakiri was schizophrenic. He was arrested after a dispute with a neighbor in December of 2016. He died 11 days later in his cell. The coroner ruled the cause of death unascertained. The Fakiri family says they were told no charges would be laid because investigators couldn't determine who among the guards did what during the moments before his death.
Stereo mono.
A man with 50 bruises.
We're in
Both his
stereo
legs
mode.
And his hands are tied. He is pepper sprayed twice.
The difficulty here is on FM, if you find a nice FM signal, it's almost certainly playing music. The music's copyrighted. On a YouTube video, I can't put copyrighted music on it without getting into a little bit of a hassle. I don't get into trouble. It's just a bit of a hassle. So we'll try that very briefly. We'll tune some music, and I'll fool around with the stereo button here.
Well, many parents in Ontario are expressing fears that returning to school next month won't be safe for their kids. So some are considering full-time remote learning. That's an option the Education Ministry says all school boards must provide. Boards are now surveying parents to find out how many intend.
This meter's not doing anything over here.
Classic Christian songs from the 70s, 80s, and 90s on WAC this weekend.
This is a religious FM station.
Life Retro Show, Saturday morning at 6 and 11 a.m. Ontario's Christian theater station.
Hey, it's Jake and Jake Stanley filling in for Steve Jones at 10 o'clock.
100.3 to see that we're not really in the right spot. 100.3 would be something like that, I think. Stereo. It's not stereo. Oh, stereo here. Wait, is this not stereo? Oh, it's just barely lighting the stereo light. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Stereo light's on. Barely. Now it's off. It's off. It's on. What's happening there? The stereo light came on bright before, didn't it?
Were most prevalent among 45 years
Okay,
or older.
that's a mono.
The Canadian Mental Health Association has done research during the pandemic.
Has now been
I thought I saw this come on nice and bright. Whew. Jim, look at the button. Okay, it's definitely stereo. Quick. So, okay, what did all that amount to? It amounts to the fact that if there's more than 2 or 3 buttons involved, boy oh boy, good thing I'm not an airplane pilot. So, yeah, I like buttons to be on when they're pushed in, but this one is on stereo when it's out. Stereo light was doing funny things as I was tuning when this light button was in on mono. I don't think it means anything at all. Stereo came on, light came on, I could hear the sound switch into stereo. The tone problem remains. The tone problem remains. The right channel sounds dull. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip the speakers around and see if the dullness flips around too. So I'll just do that on the back here. We should probably turn off the power. Now, what happens if you don't pay attention to speaker polarity? Holy smokes. And the answer is, I believe, the bass response is suppressed. Each speaker eats the other's bass signal. It's kind of a way to look at it. And the overall bass response, if the speakers are not polarized right, will be less, appear to be less. You'll hear both speakers all the time, even with a mono signal. With a mono signal and the speaker is not polarized, I think you can pick that up by listening. And our wonderful, wonderful ears and ability to hear. You ever stop and think about it? Just how impossible it is that we can hear what we hear. I sit out on my deck and listen to the birds. They're all around me, of course. The sounds are coming in all directions. And what did I do with the other wire now? I dropped it. It's not, I can, just like you, I can sit in a chair and point. Hey, the bird's that way. Hey, the bird's that way. I can also tell how far away the bird is. Now, I know a lot of that has to do with the quality of the sound. And, I mean, the fact is, I can't hear anything out there. Everything I hear is really just movement of my eardrums. I don't hear any sound far away. But I swear to you, I can hear the sounds where they're coming from. And so we do. You sit outside and say, I'm hearing that sound over there. No, now I'm hearing that sound over there. Yet all I've got are just 2 little plates inside my head that are wiggling. I can't hear anything over anywhere. It's all the power of our brain processing the meager inputs from our ears in particular and turning it into this fantastic 3-dimensional sound image that we live in and we take for granted. It's a complete miracle. We are complete miracles. That's how we should look at ourselves. Okay, now enough of that. I'll start sounding like some kind of preacher or something. Speakers are switched. Will the problem switch? Power on. A little volume. A little dirt in the volume control. Let's go back to the talker.
The color women here just got to get used to the idea somebody is
And I'll go channel to channel.
You know, I always love these big ideas, but
I'm not going back to laundry.
Now, wait a minute. Now, we done all made sacrifices. You gonna do what's best for the family. Yeah?
So there's definitely some tension that we hear
So
in that clip. How would you
we're now
describe the
listening
relationship
to
between your character,
this
CJ
speaker.
Walker, and his wife, Madam
It's the one
CJ?
that sounded better before.
Oh, loving but strained.
And now we're listening to this speaker.
I say loving first.
It's muffled.
I think that's the most important thing to know about
Okay, so the speaker problem remained with the speaker. So there's an issue with the speaker itself. The one on the right, anyway. The one on the right down below. So we'll keep that in mind. We'll have to look into that. But otherwise, I haven't found any real issues here except really poor reception on AM. FM seems to be working fine. There may be absolutely nothing for me to do here. This whole deal might be much more about sorting out the record player, and but I had to go through this to make sure this is working first. And what do we discover? We've discovered there's a speaker problem. Should we go a little further in the speaker issue right away? I was going to bring the record player in here and try to fix it up, but let's not. Let's go a little further with the speakers. Let's bring the dud up first. Oh, these are very heavy. I built one heck of a bench here specifically for holding really heavy equipment. So let's look and see if we can see the drivers. There's just bound to be one right in the middle here. There's a big one right here. There's something here. It could be a port, and then there's another one here. Just two drivers. Is there something little in there? I don't think so. Unless this is some kind of driver down here. They're in great shape. Okay, let's just these are really, really sealed up. Oh no. Wow, no wonder these things sound fantastic. They are sealed up. This is heavy, heavy wood here. Speaker power rating 35 watts RMS. Speaker name E00411. Number. The finish is a Hanver. What that is? 8 ohm. Made in Canada. Maybe something's going on with these switches. High frequency level. Increase, normal, decrease. I have the same switch on the back of my speakers. Electrohome acoustic series. So this is part of a series, and I just have a different model in the series. Well, the only way to open this up then is going to be, I may not be able to do it without really being destructive. There's a chance this cover just pops off, and that would reveal the screws. So we're just going to have to gamble here, see if we can pull it off. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It's coming off. Yeah, as soon as I can figure out how to do it. Come on. I wonder how speakers get ruined. Come on, fall out of here. It's practically falling out. Practically, but not quite. Maybe up at the top here, there's a gap. Almost got it. I'm gonna wreck it in the corner. Wow. something just like that, but not quite like that. So it's probably Velcroed on, and I'm probably fighting against Velcro or something like that. Oh, it's really quite loose down here. Hey, let me pull it right on the tag. Oh, I guess we could have figured that would happen. Oh my gosh, the challenges that come. What have I got that's going to do it? If I stick in a skinny and then rotate it, and try to grab it that way. That ripping sound is Velcro, I'm pretty sure. I hope it's Velcro. Velcro. There we are. Okay, first observation, they look good. Two-way speakers. Nothing wrong with this speaker, I'm pretty sure. This is the guy who's going to be in trouble. With it out like this, we can listen to it now.
Because I grew up on audio bases and watched my father become.
Let me turn bass off, treble full,
I really saw the man.
volume up,
Who put on this uniform and
switch on the back.
into this man who, when he walked
My
on,
ear's at this level
he
here.
was saluted by military personnel.
There's not a single sound coming out of this.
Garnered and deserved.
You can see some electrical contacts here. Is that on camera? No.
More than anything, as actors and characters, so we have to infuse that structure of the character, the script gives us with humanity, with the emotions, with feelings, and all of that. And I think one.
Do you think there's a signal there?
People play military
Look at these
personnel,
ugly
military
screws.
people, they fall into the trap of just
I think I can
orders,
take this
so
right out.
very precise in how you walk and how you talk. But there's more to that, and that's why I watched my father just who was my dad was a man, but he put on that uniform. And
My
walked
dad was a man.
form was a transformation that happened when he would become that military officer. And so at every chance I got in this play, I would.
So the chances are this driver's dead. I mean, the chance of this, broken wire on the back, small. Very small. Most likely, she's dead. Okay. Whenever you're doing something like this, screwdriver pointing into a speaker,
Yeah, and speaking of uniforms,
Don't
and
jab
wardrobe,
it.
I think you got a lot of attention for a scene in the play where you have your shirt off or it's unbuttoned.
okay, I don't really need to hear that. And this could be glued in. Who knows how this is in? This may have been made to never be ever entered into again. Wow, it's just as solid as can be in here. Well, it's not that solid, is it? Okay, there it comes. Wires and all. First thing we want to know, is there a signal on these wires? Is there a signal on those wires? The easiest way to do that is to hook up another speaker and just temporary, or anything very temporarily. Okay, I have a pair of headphones here. I'm going to put these on. And I'm going to hopefully not blow my ear off. I'm going to try to, and I can hear it. So I could hear that in the headphones. So we know the signal's making it to here. So you know what? 99/44 100%. Sure, it's a dead driver. It's a burned out coil in here. I mean, these wires are soldered perfectly. Zero coming out of it. Well, that's really quite disappointing for the speaker. Yeah. And what's going on down here? So this is a port. Yeah, so there's a tube in here. Goes back a certain distance. This is to, as the woofer drives back into the cabinet, it can push some air out here. If you make this tube the right dimensions, the right size, the right shape, the right position, to get it all right, there's enough of a delay in the lowest sounds that even though this is going back, the sound wave coming out of this hole will also be going back, because there's a full wave of sound in between the back of the speaker and the front of this hole. So at the lowest frequencies, at some point, usually right at the bottom of where this speaker can reproduce sound, this thing starts adding to what the speaker's doing. So in other words, both of these start doing this together. And when I'm doing this, this is going to kill the bass. So there's I don't know if resonance is quite the right point. There's a tuned point anyway. And this is called a tuned reflex speaker. Tuned, got the name on it. I don't think it said anything about it. I believe that's called, I don't know. I believe that's called, I don't know. In any case, I need another driver. I'm not sure I have any. Okay, so I think that's as far as we're going to get today. Looks like the guy's eye has dropped out of his head there. The next thing will be to check out the record player. And I think that'll involve some standard record player maintenance. And we'll get that working properly. Record changer, I think, is a better word for it. And as for the speaker, I'll just start rummaging my very meager speaker supplies and see if I've got something, but I don't think so. Okay, thanks a lot. See you on the next video.